And welcome to a How-To Plus Q&A event. My name is Anamari Fathorpe. I'm not only going to be your host, I'm also going to be your presenter today. So welcome to this Digital Boost session. We're going to see how much I've picked up in the past 450 or so sessions that I've run here with Digital Boost experts and presenters. I really do feel like I have gained a wealth of knowledge in this arena for SMEs, and I'm delighted to be able to share some of that stuff with you today. Now, I reckon what I thought we would cover today is 4 to 5 top tips for small businesses to making sure that you make it through the first 2 years. So it looks like in the first 2 years, we've heard that it is extremely difficult for small businesses to make it through and actually get to that other side. So if you're on that other side, congratulations. And for those of you just getting started, let's get some things put in place. I'm sure that no matter where you are in your business, you'll get a little bit of value out of this. And just happy that I can provide a little bit of insight. I'm also happy to answer any questions that you have. I have sat through, like I said, about 450 of these. So I've got a little bit of knowledge about everything. I wouldn't say I'm an expert at anything, but I do have quite a bit of knowledge about a few things. So feel free to drop those questions in. I'm going to try and monitor them throughout this session and see if I can't get them answered. Now, for those of you who are joining us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, as I'm kind of hosting and presenting, it's a little bit difficult for me to jump into those chats and keep this going. So I apologize if I don't get to your questions that you have today, or if you feel unheard, we'll make sure to reach out to you via support after this session. So really appreciate all your patience and your support today as we jump into this session, because unfortunately Natalie is not here. So we'll do our best. Now, so top 4 to 5 things that small businesses can do in order to be successful. Now, one of the top things that I think has been just reiterated over and over and over again in these sessions is the fact that planning is essential. Now, one of the things that most of us kind of skip over is our business plan. Unless we're trying to get a loan from a bank, a lot of times we don't even go into that realm and we don't delve into it. But one of the most important things we can do is actually set the time aside to figure out what our business looks like and where we want to go. So I would say one of the top tips is taking the time to put some of the structure in place in order to help your business to have something to spring off of. There are a lot of great resources out there that you can use in order to plan your business, including the MBIE has in business.gov. They've got a little one planner kind of situation that you can do. And I believe I've got a session lined up where we're going to delve into that. And I'll have a check if I can before the end of this session. We're going to actually nut out a little bit of a business plan, but it'll be a bit of fun as well in one of our workshops. So I'm looking forward to getting into that, because often we talk about digital tools and that's what we do here at Digital Boost, but it is really important to have these foundational things in place. Okay. So not only just planning our business, but also planning our content is something that we can do in order to help us to get back some of that precious thing that we call time. In small businesses, time is obviously one of the biggest commodities that we have. It's really difficult for us to be able to have enough time in the day. I know even myself, as a person who endeavors into the arts and I do things like that, it's really hard to make time to look at what other businesses are doing in my area, to plan posts that I'm going to put out, think about the strategy behind that, the wording and the copy. And so if we can put a little bit of planning behind that, we've discussed some of the tools here like Milanote. I've actually been trying this tool out. I think it's actually pretty cool. And I'd like to see if any of you guys jumped in on Stanley Henry's session that we ran a few weeks ago and he went into Milanote. If you've had a go of it, there's a free version. I've been using it. And I actually think it's quite good because you can drop the pictures in and you can actually plan all of your copy. And I like to just set aside my whole week. Some people like to plan for months in advance. I've done that before and I have done it in the past. And I think that if you're one of those folks who is really good at setting aside a few hours each month or every few months, I think it probably is the best method. But for me, I'm a little bit of a creative. I find it a bit hard to plan that far in advance. So I like to have a look at what some of the major events are. And then I plan out like a week to a week and a half. And then I actually just add in random acts of content, which I got from Tracy Henna from My Engine Lab. And she is an amazing marketing person. And she said, always make room for random acts of content. So last week, Te Wiki o Te Reo Māori would have been like a great opportunity for you to talk about something that's specific to New Zealand, especially to your international customers. And it's something that you could have thrown in there to give yourself a little bit of extra content throughout the week and also to spread the love of helping to research and this beautiful language that we have here in Aotearoa. When we talk about planning, I think one of the other things is realizing what you're good at. You know, are you good at planning? Are you good at writing copy? Are you good at, taking photos, taking imagery? What are you actually good at? And focus on those things. And the things that you're not so good at, maybe look at seeing if you can get some help with those things. One of the things that I hear successful people saying to me all the time is that they outsource things that they're not good at or that doesn't really make them money, like doesn't bring them return. And I guess as a small business owner, one of the hardest hurdles that I find to jump over is the fact that is putting money out there when I don't have a lot of money to put out there, putting money out there to get somebody else to do a job I know I could probably do myself. But it's interesting that these experts always say to me, or these people who are quite successful, they're always paying other people to do those jobs. And they're focusing on the things that they're really good at. And maybe it comes from this change in mindset, from shifting from thinking like somebody who's doing something as a hobby and somebody who's doing something as a business owner. Because I think this shift in mindset can often be really hard. I think that we often start as small business owners because we've got something that we're a bit passionate about. Maybe we do it on the side as a side hustle. And then eventually, for one reason or another, we kind of step into it and take a chance. But does our mindset come with us? I'm not sure if it all the way steps in, if we all the way commit. Some of us, I'm sure, do. And maybe that's due to the industries that they were in before they became a small business owner and they kind of see the value in that. But some of us kind of, we jump into this pool, but then we're like, oh, I can't spend money on that. And I'm not really sure about, how to, and it gets a little bit awkward. And so what I'd think would be a really cool practice is to just take a look at, make a list. What am I really good at? What am I not really good at? What do I love doing? What do I not love doing? I know that this guy, so I went to Auckland City Council, Chamber Council, and they were celebrating those that were strategy, they won the strategy award or whatever it is. And that they have their, Auckland City Chamber of Commerce or whatever council. But the guy who won it was the guy from Whoop. And I don't know if you've heard about Whoop, but it's a food industry. And he said that once a week or as he's built his business, what he's really found to be the most valuable is to set aside these few hours for creativity and for business planning. That stuff that he never used to do. He just used to be really hands-on and was afraid to kind of let people get in there and take over a little bit. But what he realized was focusing on some of this other stuff was more beneficial for the business. He felt more rejuvenated because he had some downtime and time where he could actually think about things. And it's really benefited his business growth exponentially. So as May's just put here, outsourcing, what is not a strength is a way to maximize the time we have to do the things that actually create the cash flow. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And I do think that we almost inherently know that, but it's just that barrier of getting beyond thinking like I can't spend money on my business. I could when I could do it myself. And somebody once said to me a quote where, Aussies or whatever, or Americans, they'll spend money to save time, but Kiwis will spend time to save money. And so I don't know if that's true. Look, I'm not gonna throw it, I'm just throwing it out there. So I would just say have a look at that and see what you can do. There might be some students that are really looking for some experience, that could really use a help with learning the business world and how to be in it, and could use some mentoring and in exchange for, we don't want to be taking advantage of these young people, first off, but also in exchange for some funds. But they could help you out with some areas that maybe you're not good at. And I would highly recommend that you do that. And I know a lot of businesses that do that. And that's what apprenticeship kind of is. And that's what, all of these things is. Think about what you could trade off with some of those folks, perhaps. All right. So that's my number 2 or 3 in my planning. Now, my second tip for making it through the first 2 years. So these are Anamari's hot tips today, apparently. My second tip would be that you find a mentor. This has been something that's been really interesting. I don't know if you listen to podcasts. I don't know if you've been listening to some of the folks that come on here, or what other things that you're tied into, maybe BNIs, or which is business networking groups, or maybe, there's other things that you're involved in. But what I've found to be really interesting is when you hear really successful people talk about what has helped them get from where they are now to where they were to where they are now, is that they often have a business mentor or a coach. And I think that it's really an interesting, it's that second piece of investment, isn't it? Investing in yourself. Are you willing to invest in your future? Do you believe enough in yourself that you'll actually invest in yourself to grow as a person? And what I think is cool about having a business mentor is that it creates accountability. And a lot of times, we see it in all structures. It's interesting. When we're in school, we have teachers that keep us accountable. When we play sports, we've got coaches that keep us accountable, and our teammates that keep us accountable. When we work for somebody else, we've got our bosses and our managers that keep us accountable. But when we go out into small business land, into that space, we seem to think, no, I don't need anybody to keep myself accountable. I don't need anybody, I don't want to pay somebody to help me. I don't want to look at that area of that. But we have actually been brought, even our parents, our whole life, we've kind of had these institutions or these structures that have been all around us that are keeping us accountable and helping us to move towards our goals if we've been fortunate enough. Yeah. And so it's really interesting, and maybe a change in mindset, thinking about it this way, that if you've had this your whole life and this is how you've kind of gotten to where you are, why wouldn't you need that in this next structure, in this next part that you're trying to do? And perhaps it's just for a long enough period to get yourself on the right track, and until you feel like you can drive yourself. Yeah. So I would say that my second tip is to get a mentor. Maybe that's even somebody that you've known your whole life that has driven their own business, and they're a close friend of the family, and it doesn't cost you anything. Who knows? So have a look into that. And we've got a comment here. Yes, a mentor was the best thing I did. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm so glad that you've taken advantage of that. Now, the third thing that I think is super important, and maybe I'm whizzing through this. Oh, no, we're good. The third thing that I think is really important for small businesses and is often overlooked, not thought about, pushed to the side, and something that we should really be conscious of as small business owners is our mental health. Now, there are digital tools you can use to help with this, just to keep us on the side. And I would say Clearhead is an excellent one. And I believe we still have our promo with Clearhead where you can use it for free. And that's an app and you can check in and you can chat with people. It's really cool. We did have Dr. Angela Lim here. She came on and gave a chat, and there's a podcast on it as well on the app if you want to check it out. But mental health is one of those things that gets put to the side all the time. A friend of mine said that she calls it, she's a mom, and she says, oh, it's the burnt toast theory, that everybody else in the family gets the good toast and you eat the burnt toast, right? Because that's left and you don't want to chuck it out. So you eat the burnt toast and you give everybody else the good, nicely toasted brown toast. So what are you giving yourself would be the question that I'm asking. Are you giving yourself burnt toast? Maybe you like burnt toast, but let's just say you don't. Are you giving yourself burnt toast, or are you actually giving yourself what you need in order to drive your business from a mental standpoint? Yeah. So it's even that whole point of, hey, have I taken the time to take 5 deep breaths today? There's some days where I come into Digital Boost, it's an absolute whirlwind. And I realize halfway through the day, I haven't been breathing really. So taking that time on a daily basis to regroup, to have a think about where you are, where you want to go, maybe reflecting on your accomplishments, maybe reflecting on things you want to get done that day. Maybe it's even just taking a moment to listen to the sounds around you. And I would encourage you to do that, taking a walk and actually just unplugging, coming from the digital person here, just saying unplugging for at least 5 minutes or so a day, taking some deep breaths and giving yourself a chance to reboot. And if your mental health is being affected by your business, maybe it's time to take a look at what's going on in your business and why that's actually occurring, and what things you can start to do to move yourself away from that, fight or flight situation that you're in right now. Peoples of the future. Yeah, look, there are some, maybe you might find that there is somebody there's some good things happening in the chat. I'm going to let you guys chat there because I can see you all talking to each other, and it kind of, I'm off the cuff here. So I'll engage as much as I can. But yeah, so I would say take 5 minutes. There's heaps of apps that you can do this with. I actually really like Insight Timer. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's got a little gold bowl on it. It's totally free. You can download it on your phone. You can do everything from guided meditations to setting a timer with music to just setting a timer, and just sit there and just chill out. You can sit at your desk, close your eyes if you want, breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your mouth. As a yoga teacher of over 15, 16 years, this is something that I'm really passionate about. I think it's really important to make sure that you're taking care of your mental health, because your business starts with you, right? And ends with you. So I think one of the other things that we need to look at is reflecting on where our business is. This is top tip number 4. So we've got planning, we've got mentorship, we've got mental health, and the last thing I want to talk about is reflection. And there's a couple of different elements of this reflection that I want to put in here. On a digital level, I want to say that one of the things that I've heard the most is looking at analytics. Can't say it enough. Look at your numbers, figure out where your customers are, figure out what they're doing, and alter your behavior to work towards, growing that base. Yeah. You can do that through your Google Analytics. You can do that through the insights that come through on your social media channels. There's a lot of different ways that you can have a look at what's happening in your business. You can do that with your accountant. I would highly recommend that you do that as well, and making sure that you've got, your accounting set up, because it's the backbone of your business. And your accountants can do more than just your taxes, by the way. They can help you with your business plan. We've had a number of accountants come on here, and every single one of them offers those kind of services to their clients. And I would encourage you to find somebody that you trust and actually let them have a look at what's going on and get some sound advice, and let them help guide you with where your business is financially. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there with them. Oftentimes we can have a bit of shame where, oh, we're not where we should be. Oh, I wish it was doing a little bit better. Look, everybody starts at zero. Everybody grows from there. So never undercut where you are in your success. And that kind of leads me to my next part of reflection. And that is taking the time to look at where your business was from the way that you felt then and how you feel now, some of the challenges and successes you might have had, and having a look at how you overcame those challenges and recognizing that, because that's kind of that whole idea of failing forward, right? John Maxwell wrote a great book called Failing Forward, and it talks about that, how we often learn more through our failures than we do through our successes, to be perfectly honest. So having a look at some of those challenges and how you've overcome them. And if you're still sitting in a challenge, who you can reach out to help you to get through that challenge and to overcome it. And then take a look at your successes and celebrate those successes. Maybe if you've planned, you might have some milestones that you've reached. And when you hit those milestones, you're able to celebrate those with not only yourself, maybe it's a little mental party, a little party in your head, but also celebrating with the folks that you love, and the people that are around you, because that brings me into my fifth top tip for small business owners to make it through. And that is putting enough support around yourself so that you feel like you can do this. So one of the things that we often fall into, these traps that we fall into in small business, is that we are all alone, right? We might even have employees, but we want to maintain these boundaries of, oh, well, I'm the boss and I feel like I can't get too personable with my employees. Or like most of us here on Digital Boost, we're solo, we are one-man bands, we are, mom and pop shops, and we often don't get the time to interact with others. And when we have struggles in our business, it can be extremely, extremely stressful because we feel like we're going through it all alone. And there's a couple of things that I've mentioned in this session which will help you not to do that, which is obviously having a mentor, as somebody who's going to be there alongside of you that you can chat with about these situations. I mentioned business networking groups. Look, business networking groups are people who are also going through the same thing that you are, and you could lean on them for a bit of support. But we also often have our funnel, and we have our friends, and we have other folks in our life, our partners, that we can chat with about our business. And I think one of the most important things is don't isolate yourself. Don't put yourself into this place where you have to carry the load all by yourself. And it's okay to reach out to folks and be like, hey, you know what? Do you have time for a coffee? Yeah. So a little thing here, also set up a coffee group with other local businesses. Look, you can totally do that. And another way that you could actually do this to make sure that you have support, and I think this is like one of the best marketing tools around and probably underutilized by most folks, is the collaborative aspect of businesses. Say I'm a yoga teacher, great. That's something that I make money off of. Maybe I know somebody that is into crystals. They're really great at selling crystals. They've got their network. I have my network. Together, we come together. We make one mega spiritual person that has yoga and crystals. And we throw some events together. We do some social media marketing together. We bounce off of each other and give each other energy. And I think that's a great way to still remain autonomous so that you have your business and you're making money off of your business, but you're working together in a team, which often makes us feel less alone. And we get to reach out to new customers. They're not going to lose their customer because they're still going to buy their crystals, but maybe they also want to have some yoga in addition to that. So I would encourage you to think about ways that you can partner with folks in your local neighborhood. Hey, it doesn't even have to be this symbiotic relationship. Maybe it's just that you're in a small rural town and there's a bunch of businesses that have nothing to do with each other, but you're all local. Maybe you get together as local business owners and you put on an event together to promote each other. It's like the markets, things like that. So, these are some of my top 5 tips for small businesses, and I appreciate the folks who are here today for making it through the first 2 years and making sure that you celebrate yourself. So number 1, plan, do your business plan Plan your marketing as much as you can to get yourself some time back. Plan and figure out what you're good at and what you're not good at, and see if you can't outsource some of those things. Yeah. Number two, get a mentor, whether it's a family member who's owned a business for 40 years and they know what they're doing, or it's somebody that you pay to help you in order to get there, because we all have these mentors throughout our lives, but for some reason, when we become small business owners, we think we don't need them. That'd be my other top tip. Number three, mental health. Take care of your mental health. Make sure that you're taking time for yourself. Recognize burnout. It's a real thing. And I've seen some people really have to shut themselves down and their business down for long periods of time because they haven't gauged their true burnout. And then they've been forced into taking a break. So it's a real thing. Take some time. Also, so I did mention that clear head, but I also want to mention, if you're a Xero subscriber, you get free counseling for you and your family. So do take advantage of that if you're with Xero, and a big shout out to Xero for that. Number four, reflect. So analyze your numbers, work towards your strengths, build that customer base, reflect on your challenges and how you overcame them, how you're going to overcome them, and celebrate in your successes. And number five, make sure you've got enough support around you in order to keep yourself going. And I want to say, it's not only that you support yourself with people, but it's also the things that you read. Yeah, it's the things that you watch. So make sure that you're putting the good stuff in, because if my kind of theory is, if you put enough good stuff in, the rest falls to the side. So, those are my 5 top tips for small businesses, trying to make it. I hope that's given you a bit of things to think about today. I appreciate your consideration and your patience in this session. I know it wasn't about pricing strategies. It's not something that I'm an expert in, and I don't want to delve into something that I'm not an expert in. And I hope that you'll join us on Thursday for an epic session with Stu Lees. He's going to be helping us to plan content. So if you need some help, this is what he does. He's stepping in on Thursday, and I'm really excited and grateful to have him come along. So I just want to thank everyone who tuned in today and had to listen to me waffle on for about 30, 40 minutes. I'm going to have a look at the chat now and see what we've got going on. And people are replying to other folks in the chat, which I love. I already have a business plan a few years ago. Fantastic. Thanks, Anamari. You did also to pick up presenter role on the fly. You are very welcome, Ray. Can pricing webinar be rescheduled? Yes, it can. And I would, I'm not sure what happened this morning, so I can't even speak to why this didn't happen today. So I will do my best. And if Natalie can't make it, I will find somebody who is a pricing expert, and we will get there in the end. I promise to fulfill that to you. So I just want to thank everybody for turning up today. I would love to open up the chats on the social media, but I think it's going to be just a bit disjointed. Okay, great points. I worked with FlexiWage for anyone looking to set up in business. Okay, cool. Yep, please send a link for Thursday's session. Let me know when the pricing session can be rescheduled. Yes, absolutely. Hey, look, the link for the session, Angela, is up on Digital Boost. So you obviously are a registrant if you're here with us on Zoom. If you just click and RSVP to that event on Thursday, it'll send you the link. You're very welcome for the helpful tips. Oh, okay. So we've got, I'm often supporting business leaders with their mental health. Fantastic. That's oceanacoaching.com. Thanks, Rachel and Vicky. Appreciate you. Thanks, Rachel, for the little compliment. I'm just going to check this chat. Thank you forward. Okay, cool. All right. Awesome. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Appreciate you and everything that you're doing. I also want to remind you that we have a Facebook community group. Get involved with that. Lean on folks in our Facebook community group. I want to say that we love hearing your stories and would love when so we did a TikTok workshop ages ago, and somebody actually sent us their TikTok and we put it across all our social media. So I'm really happy we are happy to promote your business. We want to see you succeed. So please share with us what you've got going on. We would love to share it with your community, our community. Yeah. So, so please keep us in the loop. Tag us. We want to see you. Have a wonderful day. Appreciate you. Ka kite. All right, y'all. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for all your support. I wouldn't be able to do this without your support. Can you send the Facebook link, please? Is that the Facebook link for what? Facebook link for, let me know what that Facebook. Oh, okay, the community group. Sorry, I got you. I will get that right now. All the best moving forward. We did something similar this year. Okay. Oh, cool. I love that you guys are all talking to each other. Hold on, let me grab this Facebook link for you for the community group. Yeah, and you can promote your own business on Friday. So if you've got like a special ad, you can totally put your ad up on Fridays. Why wouldn't you want to do that? You know, it's just like an extra place that you can get your stuff done. So where am I? Groups, community group. Okay, I've got it. Here you go. To everyone. That's the Facebook community group. Just click on that link. I wondered, have something to say. Genetics BNI. I wonder something about this. Tanya, if you need any help, just let me know. I'm happy to help you. We can jump on a call with you or type out through email if that's better for you. I hope to see you guys on the page. We also have a LinkedIn page. You can't really post on there, but there's a lot of good stuff that comes through there, and you can always catch us on YouTube. So I hope to see you guys on Thursday. I'm super psyched. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys all later. Takite.